This could be so much fun because somebody out there's got to be in the Christmas spirit. I believe somebody is. It's really not that cold out here. I might take this shirt off. Maybe I'll. I wonder if I'll get more people that way. I'm just kidding. That's terrible. Bruni, you're so cute. I bet we'll have so many more people because of you. There's gonna be so much traffic on this channel because of Fluffy Butt Poodles. Ah. If this doesn't work, I don't know what will. I know there's got to be somebody out there with some Christmas spirit. What the heck? This is sad. And I'm just about ready to give up on humans. I'm so close. Where can we put this? Oh. You know what would be really sad would be to be a child right now. Oh, I can't imagine how miserable children are all around the world. It's so sad. Oh, Roscoe, Christine, come alive, come alive. Not you. Hey, Flippy Butt. Oh, it's the Great Street Hooligans. Oh, we about to have a turf war live on YouTube. I don't look very festive. I thought I looked very festive, but I really don't anymore. Oh, it just what? Trump gives what? What? What just happened? Oh, how long have y'all been in here? The kids? Are y'all talking about the kids? They have hope in Trump? Fluffy Butt Poodle. Do y'all hear that train? You probably don't because I barely hear it. Who all's in here? Everybody tell me, announce yourself. Where are you from? What are you doing? I thought I looked festive, but now I just kind of look like an idiot with a bow in my hair. About to just do that. Maui. Lots of clowns are out now. Who's a clown? I love that so much. I have stuff to make mimosas. I can make a mimosa right now. Christmas. I wish I could see this better. I feel like I'm like, let me see. I don't know why. In where? Why can I not see anything? Can I get my dogs to howl? Roscoe, come see. Roscoe. Oh, there's... These sunglasses really do shut my entire brain down. They don't just keep me from seeing well. They keep me from doing it. I'm just like, I have no words. Yeah. Oh, there's a train. You know what that means? Do y'all know what that means? Some dogs do howl at trains, don't they? Not my dogs. Or me anymore. Ha! That was either fireworks or shots fired. Louisiana. Louisiana, darling. Ah! Lucy, come see. Don't act like you're afraid of a gunshot. Come on. What are you doing? Mwah, mwah. I love her. Darling. Where are you from, darling? Yes. That's my girl. That's my tons of fun. I call her Big Bertha sometimes. Where are y'all from? This bow looks so stupid. I cannot. There. Done. It's gone. Is it safe in your area? What, because of the gunshots? I think they were fireworks, and yes, it's pretty safe. It's as safe as any place in this earth can be, you know? Define safe. There's humans running rampant, so there's that. So I would not, I mean, that's, ugh. But, you know, that's pretty much anywhere you go these days, unfortunately. There's an infestation of them, it seems like. Crimes. Crimes of passion, maybe. Oh my goodness. It's funny that out of everything going on with my entire appearance, I'm like, oh my God, this bow looks stupid. I mean, I like this stuff, but... Did somebody call me a clown a minute ago? Rude. What you doing? I'm just messing this up. Boom. Do they do, is that supposed to be voodoo? Are you asking they do voodoo? Is that what you're asking? Who are they, the witches? Hello. Or the dogs. Do you do, are you a voodoo doll? Dog? Who's what? Oh my gosh. Oh, that's my dog, Roscoe. Roscoe and Lucy. Lucy, come see. See? Lulu. Oh. Oh. Just knocking stuff over. What are you doing? You want a bow? Oh, she's on the hunt. Oh, I still have this stuff in my hair. Oh my gosh. Yes, it is. Which makes it even more sad, the fact that it looks like I just got put my finger in a light socket or a electrical outlet. I think it makes it look more natural. What do y'all think? Oh my gosh. So the good news is this is not at all an accurate representation of how I feel on the inside. Not at all. That's not true. It's pretty spot on. I just feel like that's pretty much the best way I could articulate it. What about y'all? How's everybody else doing? And I apologize. I know it might be a little harder for you to put it in words textually, because I don't know how you would say that on a keyboard. I'm sure y'all could figure it out. Y'all seem pretty tech savvy. Looks like everyone in her. I gotta make sure I'm reading this right. Looks like somebody's got jokes, is what it looks like. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you. I guess. To be. What? What does that even mean? Are they not affordable right now? Y'all look at, oh my God, this is tragic. This is really tragic. I'm about to go put a hat on, I think. So the thing with fireworks is this. I'm not saying that it's not possible. I'm just saying typically you don't just hear one, just like a individual firework go off. You know what I mean? Like, I guess it's not like impossible, so to speak, but it kind of makes me wonder, like, are people really, is inflation really a real thing? Or is there something else going on here? And I say wonder because I'm not like, oh my God. I'm just saying, it piqued my interest. It makes me a little curious. Let me see. Okay, let's see. Good night with the way the economy is. Better off with Trump in office. That's what I'm talking about. Well, that's not what I'm talking about, because I actually watched a live video. It said it was live on YouTube earlier today of Trump. And I was like, kind of really like, okay, I'm feeling what he's saying. Like, this sounds like good stuff. And it's live. So it's like, about as accurate as you can get as far as like present this very moment type stuff. And, I mean, I was listening, but kind of like in and out. And then I called him, like, this is when I was really like, wait, what? He's like, that's why we cannot let her get elected in November. I'm like, that's not live. This is not live. You just stole minutes of my life. So, just in case, I'm sure I don't need to clarify this, but for what it's worth, this is definitely live. This is not a pre-recorded. Oh, gosh. What is theft? What? I don't know what you're talking about. Or who you're calling baby girl. Oh, my goodness. I wanted to go Christmas caroling earlier. That's kind of what I started with the get up. See, that's what was with all this. I wanted a Christmas carol. Friends with... Being respectful by saying baby girl? This is an interesting... We've got an interesting bunch here tonight, guys. I'm curious. I have so many questions, not really. Trying to be respectful. You don't really have to try. You just gotta do it. It's not really the being respectful or like trying, like making the conscious effort. It's just more of like a don't be disrespectful. And I think that's pretty much, it kind of works itself out, that way. Where did that question... I want to be the spectator. I just want to sit back and see how this plays out. Instead of asking questions about the questions, I'm just going to... Jesus. I was going to wait. I was going to let somebody else take that one. I can't tell if the... Me? I'm trying not to. I'm trying to be respectful too of women. Of humans. I'm trying to hold my tongue and to be respectful of humans right now. It's difficult though. It's so difficult. Hello. Hello. No, you get a big kiss, kiss. Kiss, kiss. You okay? Oh my goodness. I love you so much. I love you so much. That was an ambulance. That was an ambulance. If that has nothing to do with this single firework that popped off recently. Absolutely no relation. Never mind. Right? Ah, does that answer your question? I'll let the sirens answer the question for me, huh? Mm-mm-mm. Oh, man. I wish I were here. I wish I had actual real life people around me. Really. Wait, no, hold on. Why are you saying that? Next door. So, I don't know why I cannot read. This is terrible. So close to the... I think it's just my brain's just on vacation, on holiday. My brain's on holiday. What you guys are actually experiencing right now is like the auto email responses that go out when somebody's out of the office, like will return on January 2nd, 2025. That's what my mouth is doing on behalf of my brain right now. It's like, and it's and my auto response is British too. So it's like, she's on holiday. Oh my gosh. I just hate everything. Like, I hate just everything so much. Flip the phone screen around. Why? Why do you want me to do that? So you can't see me? But, Oh, to see what? I don't know what you want from me. Because of the sounds I just heard. What? The sirens? The ambulance? I mean, if you're trying to get a good view of, can you read this? Oh, yeah, I can read it, and it's so hilarious. If you're trying to get a good view of my location because you're trying to freaking stalk me or something, guess what? Go for it. Because I get so lonely around here. It gets so lonely. I don't have a good stalker. I have not had a good stalker in a really long time. It's quite sad. I don't have shotguns. I don't have any guns besides boom. I just really myself. It ain't like that. I'm located in. I wish that's where I was. Who is Big Corey? Who is? I'm gonna say no. I mean, I know a lot of people named Corey, but I don't. None of them named Big Corey. I'll have to go put it. I'm about to go get a baseball cap. Hold on. Let me go get a cap real quick, y'all. I don't think I can. I don't know if I can add somebody on the live. I don't think I can. I know I need to go get a baseball cap real quick, though. I'll be right back. all of these damn lights on. Okay, what I missed? Oh, busting my ass almost. We saw you eat 3 cookies in the other room. Okay, spoiler alert, this is not a baseball cap. It is a hat, though. I didn't eat any cookies. Don't be lying on me. It's weird. I just blew smoke out of my mouth, and I don't feel like it's cold outside. Yep, definitely not cold. That's, you know what? I'll tell you where it's about to be is my, let me get this dumb shit out of my, yeah, so I think that, I'm just going to leave it at that right now. That's all I'm going to say about that right now. I do love Jesus. I have recently shifted my perspective on him in a lot of ways. Not to say that I love him any less. I just have always, every time I eat and I say the blessing, I say the blessing every time I eat. And I always say, bless this food, help it to nourish our bodies, or my body, so I may better serve you in all that I do. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. And I've just always said that. Like I just kind of like made it up at some point in my life. But I started saying, in God's name we pray, or I pray, lately, just because of, you know, like I said, in light of kind of the new perspective I've, you know, kind of like shifted to as far as Jesus and the role he plays, you know, in the grand scheme of everything. But the short answer to your question is yes, I do love Jesus. I love him very much. I feel like I know him on a very, very personal level, as he does me on a personal level in return. I am, you know, more than willing to answer any follow-up questions in regards to Jesus or God or the Bible or anything else for that matter. If it's something that I can honestly answer based on my own experience, I will. If it's just something that's common knowledge or, you know, like a question like that, I'm pretty much a wealth of information anyway. So like, that's why I would say what I... Right. So you were just asking me that just because I'm from Louisiana, and so is he. Because I actually do really love those guys. And I am not in North Louisiana right now. I don't live in North Louisiana, but that is actually where I'm from. And I'm actually just about 30 miles down the interstate from those guys. So that's kind of cool. Jesus is God in manifestation as man. He also loves you. Right. No, he does. And the thing is, though, I think that the part that people really miss, which I'm not going to say that it's the only thing. I mean, it's quite a very key element to the whole Jesus being God reincarnated. I think that we all are. And I think that there is more... I have my own opinion on that. So I don't think that God knew. I think that, and I'll keep in mind, guys, I'm going to answer your questions. I'm going to be very honest as far as my opinion. I mean, first and foremost, this is solely my opinion. I'm going to answer the questions very, you know, directly, and hope that you guys are going to be grown-ups and be able to take my opinion for just that, my opinion. Yeah, no, so I actually was trying to make a video earlier. The reason I'm on here instead of on just recording it on my phone is because my brain is just like not cooperating. But I really, really had wanted to make a video today specifically on this topic that you are asking me questions about, which is crazy because anytime I'm ever on a live feed or a live stream, no one ever asks me questions about anything really of significance or important, especially not on the topic that I have been, it's been heavily weighing on me to do a video on. So, I mean, what would you call that, you know? But in particular, free will and how it relates to everything going back to the beginning. If Adam and Eve were in fact the beginning, which that's kind of up for debate too, but without sounding blasphemous in any way, because I'm not, and I'm in no way trying to minimize, downplay God, or anything of that matter. But I have done a lot of praying and a lot of reading and a lot of seeking out information lately because it has been it's been just weighing on me really a lot lately. All of it. And I think that we have a lot of things wrong. And I used to get so mad when people would say, you know, the Bible is just a man-made book. You know, it's just written by man. You know, like I used to just get so mad when people would say that because I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, that's not it at all. But the fact is that is actually exactly what it is. And that is not to say that it's not. It's just, there's no way. Let me see what y'all are saying. Did God create other worlds? So I think that the thing with God is this. I don't even know how to, how do I even like, I think that it is absolutely, hello. You know what, if we're really about to have this conversation, I do need to go get a mimosa. No. But you're so beautiful. You are so beautiful. Me, no. What are the worlds did was to create chaos. So I think the chaos, I think chaos is actually, and again, I'm just going to give this disclaimer, even though I shouldn't have to, I'm going to just because out of respect for the reverence that I have for God and for just really not wanting to take a chance of it coming across in a way that makes somebody have either a bad impression of me or God. But I think that the chaos comes from mercy and grace. And I think that that's the big dilemma. I think that's the double-edged sword in reality is that, you know, the mercy and grace, you know, leads to chaos and calamity. Okay, now that was definitely, does God rule by servitude? We are not God reincarnated. Instead, we are gods in creation. Did God create other worlds? If there is history or evidence of other worlds, then yes, they were created by the one and only God. Well, I think that everything in the physical world is the manifestation of everything in the spiritual world. And I think that the reason, you know, there's been so many overcorrections and stuff, and I'm going to say that, and like I said, I hope that that does not come across as blasphemous or in any way, you know, I know God is God, but he had no point of reference. And, you know, he had no point of reference. I'll just leave it at that. What do you mean by does God? Who said that? Who said? I must have missed that one. I know that's probably the most commonly asked question. The most commonly asked question in any 2 a.m. after the bar, like worst time to ever talk about God, but it seems to be the time that people always, I know when I was growing up, that was always the time that people wanted to talk God. And that was one of the most commonly asked questions in my experience. Oh, well, tell me this. Well, if there's a God, then why do babies die in house fires? Which I can answer that question I can at least give a pretty good answer, I think, based on my beliefs and knowledge in regards to it. But I don't know if somebody was actually asking that or if that was just, I don't know. And also the term babies is very is very relative. I mean, there is no age of accountability, so it's not like God would be. I don't think God's gonna say, well, you know what? Like, I'm not gonna let newborn babies suffer, but if you have like transitioned from, formula to solid food, you're not a baby anymore, so you got to suffer like the rest of us. It is of the devil or the person who decided to do it. The bar. I wasn't saying you're at the bar. This is a very non-effective method of having a discussion of things of this magnitude. I wish I was in Australia right now. I really do. I changed my name to Alice just because I want to be the Australian version of me so bad. 10 p.m. here in Sydney. Does God make mistakes? I think so. I think that, like I said, he has no point of reference to base anything off of, and I don't think it's meant that he makes mistakes necessarily. I think it's that he tends to lead more with grace and mercy than he does justice and wrath. And I understand that. I do. But at the same time, there's a time and place for everything. And it only takes so many time and this is for me personally. I think there's only so many times that I need to see a human respond to a certain, like a situation or a similar, situations that are pretty much the same. Seeing them respond to them in the same way, it would not take me that many times to get a pretty good, I would have a pretty good idea of how they were going to, behave every time and time again. So at some point, you just got to say, you know what? So I never ask for help. I do it for you niggas and do it for myself. That's what I always say. Let's see. The New Living Christians of the verse states that God is too wise to make a mistake because he made everything in his wisdom and saw that it was good. Right, but that's what I'm saying, though, is that I understand that, but at the same time, and now keep in mind, like I said, I am not somebody that's like, knocking the book or God, and I have, no or very limited, I'm not doing it in ignorance. I'm doing this from the position of I have known, loved, had a relationship with, worshiped, followed, gotten to know, studied, all those things, like walked with God the majority of my entire life. So I'm definitely in no way just blindly, ignorantly saying, oh, well, that's just what man says. But I'm saying at this point in my life, in the many years that I've had learning human minds operate, and and relating that to everything else that we're discussing, I will just say this: it is absolutely impossible, literally impossible, for a human to look at a situation from a totally unbiased standpoint. We cannot do it. And I'm saying that with certainty. If there's something that if there's something that I'm missing here, if there's a way that it's possible, and I'm not aware of that, I'm definitely open to that. But in my opinion, there is no way we project our emotions, our experiences, our understanding of a situation, or lack thereof. There's no way that we are going to be capable of looking at a situation, judging it, if you will, if you want to use that word, assessing it, however, whatever word you want to use. We are only able to see anything outside of us through the lens of our own understanding, our own experiences, our own knowledge, or lack of. And so to say that that it says that, I know that it does, but that was somebody's interpretation of what God was speaking to them, and I just don't know how they could know that God really felt that way. See, everybody says that, but I don't think that's true. I don't think there are things that we're not to know. I think that it is a matter of, first of all, knowledge and wisdom are not the same thing. So I don't think that there's any knowledge that we are not meant to have, or that we don't have the right or the authority or whatever. I think that if there's not, it's Jesus said, seek and you shall find, knock and ask and you will be answered unto you. The stipulation though is that in what context, like why, what, first of all, it just, you've got the difference in wisdom and knowledge is, what do you do with the knowledge once you get it? Knowledge plus experience is wisdom. So a wealth of knowledge can actually be a very, very dangerous thing to someone that is still ignorant. A merciful restoration of the creation from its rebellion and corruption. See, but again, that's not entirely true, because it didn't work. It did a lot of damage and did absolutely nothing but maybe prolong for a little bit. It may have delayed, for lack of better words, the inevitable, but it still did a lot of damage, only to have the same corruption infiltrate the human race again. Now, in my opinion, that's because I think somebody at the last minute left the ark door open, is what I think. I think somebody, not necessarily, but somebody in his family had a moment of weakness, and one of the people that did not take heed to their warnings when he told them for years and years and years, when they were like, "You're crazy. Why are you doing this? God didn't tell you to do this, da 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 da." And nobody wanted to listen to him. I think that in the last minute, right as those, raindrops started hitting their heads, I think somebody said, wait, please, let me on there. And they did. And I think that probably was what did it, in my opinion. But that's why you can't trust humans to do stuff like that. Merry Christmas. Are you going to night-night? We were created with weakness, were we not? Anyway, guys, I pray over this cover. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. And I hope that I haven't said anything that's offended, or I appreciate the opportunity to discuss these things, but I definitely don't want to cause issues, I guess. I think I'm the one that needs to stay strong with this hair, because it's driving me crazy. Oh my gosh. Driving me insane in the membrane. We should keep talking about it though, because this is actually like really, really, really what I need is to, have a conversation with people that not necessarily, I mean, it doesn't even matter if they necessarily believe the same things as me, but just are, have the mental capacity to discuss things as that. Pain in your eyes. I'm so sorry to be a doubt. What not in my eyes. And don't ever apologize for being a downer. Just call me Debbie. No. Though being real and being open and honest and that's, it doesn't matter if it's a downer or not. If it's truth and I need to hear it, bring it on. But I am very interested in, in you elaborating on that. Yeah. Like a lot. And I was starting to wonder if anybody else in the world could even relate to that, honestly. Because for the longest time, I have been so adamant on not being a victim, that I kind of sat back and let the world, quote unquote, the world, what am I trying to say? I guess I just, in my effort to be humble, I guess I've never stopped to even question whether or not anybody else actually could relate to anything that I never even really discussed or mentioned that I had experienced. And I think that that's a lot of the issues in the world right now. Honestly, I think it is not. I don't think it's that there's an abundance of suffering and pain. I think it's actually quite the opposite. I think the world is full of a bunch of spoiled brats that think that they have been wronged and in fact have no idea what it actually is like to feel pain or anything like that. But I think that is the problem as well, because, spare the rod, spoil the child. You have to love something, be able to literally you have to be capable of love to discipline, and so there's a lot of people in this world, I think most people in this world don't even they can't even comprehend what true love feels like, because they've been sheltered from that or neglected from, or however you want to look at it. And what they think is pain is actually just a lack of emotion. It's just a numbness. And I think that pain is what makes us human. And it's definitely what allows us to empathize with others and connect with others. And so what you see in my eyes is probably exactly what you said, but it's also life. It's also, there's a soul behind it, and you don't really see that much anymore, Right. Well, and I have I've put my faith completely in his hands in regards to justice, because I have, like I said, with the humans and how many chances do you need, I can't dwell on it, but at the same time, it would be absolutely foolish, I tell you, to have any sort of hope or belief that humans are capable of, at this point, where we are as a society, where we are just, in general. The thought of things being made, things balancing out, things, all the wrongs being made right, justice, all those things. I'm there. It's there. It's not. There's no way. We're too far past that. It's just not going to happen. So, I have to believe that everything that I have endured and not retaliated and forgiven and healed from, and every day that goes by that, everything is just, it's as if it never happened. Every day that is my reality. I just have to have faith that God really is going to make all those things right. And I'm not ready yet to say that He's not the God that I know that promised that He would. It just says be patient. And so I am, but it's hard. And forgiving, and I will never excuse, when it comes to me personally, I'm never going to blame anyone for my actions or my life or the anything as far as I'm concerned in my life is a direct result of the choices I've made, and I'm fully capable and always going to take responsibility completely for that. However, when it comes to other people, just like I'm not going to excuse their behavior, I am going to do everything I can to understand the person, the situation, why they are the way they are and why they've done the things that they've done. It does not mean, again, I say this over and over and over, it does not on any level mean that I excuse it or condone it or anything like that. It just makes it easier for me to forgive them. It makes it, I just think there's a part of our brain that can only process things in a way that just, if this, then that, we have the right and left or whatever parts of our brain, there's just a part of our brain that's very pragmatic, that's just very logical, that's very rational, or at least that's how mine is. And so I have to be able to say, okay, I know that this had nothing to do with me, or at the very least, if it had something to do with me, it was not because of anything that's wrong with me. I have to be able to formulate, an equation that makes sense of it, because otherwise, it hurts too much, Well, yeah. Me neither. In fact, my mind is exhausted from the not forgetting, and the constant attempt to balance talking and processing and working through things, healing from things, speaking on things that should not be, covered up, like holding people accountable or speaking things out loud so that I remind myself that they actually did happen. But then also not talking about things to the point that I'm just dwelling on it or getting myself worked up or anything like that. I don't want it to control my life or anything like that. But I will not pretend like these things didn't happen. I will not. Just because they did. And I see how easy it is. I see time and time again how quick, how easy, how natural it is for these people to it's like that red Solo cup trick, where they just and then they think that in just a matter of seconds you're gonna be like, where'd the ball go? I don't even know. I don't even know what cup. But no, I'm not. I know what you did. Whether or not you guys created a bunch of distractions or y'all came in and out and this and this and this and this, no matter what you think you did, and no matter how good it worked, how successful you were in thinking that you forgot it in your own mind, so that you think you're not living with the guilt of what you did, I promise you, not only is it still in your mind and do you still live with the guilt and the shame, especially if you don't acknowledge that it actually happened, but I don't forget at all. I don't. And I've even told people that as the things were literally happening, I was like, you can't do this and think that, just because you guys are, doing all this stuff, just basically just like doing all these hat tricks and stuff in an attempt to pretend like it didn't even happen. I'm telling you, as it's happening, it don't work that way. Not with me, at least, and not with him. So you're better off right now just stopping and not doing more damage. But again, do they ever listen? No, not at all. They just can't. It's literally, and I do not agree with Jesus when he said, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Nope, I don't agree with that at all. I do. I think they 100% know what they're doing. I do. They do. They know exactly what they're doing. They just can't help it. They do not have the ability. It's not in them to be anything other than a bipedal animal. They operate off of sheer instinct. They are fear and ego driven. That is the only thing they know. And that's just how it is. But yes, they absolutely know what they're doing. And it's not okay. And I'm disgusted with it. Yeah. And no, I think that people, I think our brains see, and you know what? Actually, this is a very good opportunity for me to go back to, actually, you know what? I'm going to go get a mimosa real quick. But I did want to say this earlier as far as like the whole, baby suffering and all that. Just like everything else, just like everything under the sun that God created, very, what would the word be? Like, he created us so beautifully, so intricately, with so much. And then really, when it comes to that, like, there are no mistakes when it comes to how amazing, and you get what I'm saying. But everything that he did, or made, or whatever, however you want to look at it, he did to help us. We have found a way, humans, it doesn't matter what it is. As soon as we put our hands on it, we cannot help but pervert it, distort it, overuse it, misuse it, abuse it, flip it, reverse it, everything, and use it as for evil or like it becomes, instead of helping us, it hinders us. It goes from being, a blessing to a curse. That's just humans. That's just what we do. It's just who we are. So, So, with that being said, God created our minds the way that they are, very, on purpose, because he knew that we were going to experience things, especially, at times, when we're a child, especially when we are vulnerable, weak, helpless, you know, and most impressionable, things might happen to us that were out of our control, you know, completely. And God knew that. And although God never intended it to be that way, it doesn't change the fact that he knew that there's always the possibility for that to happen. So God designed our minds to where we could, we have ways to easily cope, handle, deal, process, escape from, you know, all those things. Like our mind has so many different ways in which to, you know, combat the evil in the world that we could possibly face, you know, or suffer from as a child or at any point in our life. The problem though is that, you know, like I said, we don't know how to distinguish between, you know, we don't know where to draw that line. So we always cross over the threshold and end up, you know, those things end up hurting us. So where was I going? Is to have us suffer to fulfill his what? Of servitude. Without suffering, there is need for God. Well, see, I mean, I don't totally agree with that though. Because I just don't know. He doesn't there's nothing that suffering fulfills. You know, I even think with Jesus, I really, really think that there was a point in, you know, I mean, like, no, from the time he was born, they told him that he was the Messiah, that he was, you know, meant to do all these things. I mean, yes, I'm not going to take away from anything that he suffered, you know, like the way that he suffered, but I don't think he had to. I really don't. I really don't think he had to. And I know I just said that, and I know that's a very bold statement, but just hear me out. Like, why would he have to die for us? Like, why? That's not the God that I know. The God that I know would not, especially when Pilate was like, what am I missing here? There is nothing that I can find that this is an innocent man. Unless you guys can tell me, unless there's something I'm missing here, I'm going to let him go. And Jesus just sat there and was like, I am who you say I am. But why? Why did he? Why? See, I don't think that's, no, I think that's a lot of the misconception people have of God, is that he's the God that loves us so much that he was willing to have his son die in the most gruesome, most awful death possible. Well, so let me ask you this. How's he going to judge if God's the one that is the only one that's able to judge everyone? How's he going to judge his children that killed his son, but also they were doing it to fulfill the prophecy, right? So how does that work? Do they get a pass? Like, how does anybody ever think about that? Like, how do you judge, if you were a judge, like an actual judge, and, you know, walks in the courtroom, you've got like your son and your daughter. Or actually, no, let's say one killed the other. Well, the other one's dead, so they're not there. But how are you capable of, you know, you know, how does that work? I don't know. I don't agree with that. He knew what would happen the moment he created us. Case closed. I don't think he did. I don't think he did. I think that, I think he thought it was good. You know, it said he did this and he did that and it was good. Well, I think that the Bible also says that God is not able to, he cannot be in the presence of evil or sin. You know, he's so perfect, he's so holy, he's so divine that he cannot be, he hides his face from the unrighteous. So how would he not know that? How would he know things weren't good? I mean, and then especially when he sent the angels, when somebody finally had the balls to be like, hey, God, so here's the thing, reporting back from, you know where, it's not good. It's not good at all. I mean, literally, we're to the point where like they're literally they're procreating with the animals now. Like they're having sex with animals. Like that's the point that we're at now, we got to do something. You know, who was going to be the one that was going to admit to that? Because that, I mean, how many managers do you know that go to the owner of the company and they're like, hey, we're all there. It's a madhouse. Something you make everything's going to change. Well, no. Well, you were the manager, weren't you? The one that was supposed to be managing the place. What happened? People don't tell on themselves. Humans, I ain't so. Everything's good. As far as I know, things are great down there. You know. And that's not seducing. How is that seducing? A woman that's seducing a man is from my understanding it's in the form of like getting them to have sexual, you know, like in a sexual nature. And seduction has to do with sex and the body. I thought so. How do you seduce someone to eat an apple or eat the like that's, I mean, again, I don't, I guess I'm getting a little worked. I'm not getting worked. I mean, I am, but just because I'm like, I have all these emotions in me. So I'm not like really taking anything personally though. He allowed Eve to be influenced to eat of the forbidden fruit. And see, if you really want to know what I think about that, I think if God doesn't make mistakes, I think if God would have known, if God made humans in his image, like people so often claim, if he made them in his image, then there were parts of him that he was not aware of. And I'll tell you why. Because if you tell a human not to do something, you bet your ass. Not only are they going to do it, but they are going to do it no matter what. It doesn't matter what it is, what the consequence is. You know, like it's and I'm talking about what's the word I'm trying to use? Like I'm just going to say a human, because if you have, you know, any type of like, if you tell me not to do something, I'm not going to do it if it's going to harm me. I'm not a human in that sense. I am not a child. I am not an idiot. I am not so stuck in my own trauma or unforgiveness or hatred of anybody else, or you know, like I'm not in such a like dire need to prove that no one's the boss of me, that if you told me not to lay out in the middle of traffic, that I would do it just because you said not to. But I'm telling you, the majority of the entire human race would do it, and it would be just second nature for them. So I think that if God actually knew that humans were, in fact, what humans actually are, he would have known the worst thing to do is say, don't eat from this tree. You can eat from any other tree but this one. So, and I'm just, yeah, that's where I'm at on that. Adam and Eve, he was lonely, so God knows loneliness to be. Satan told Eve that they never. When God only tell Adam and Eve from. And you know, and you're saying a lot of very, very, I agree with a lot of that, and that's very very smart, very good stuff that you're saying. I actually just, like, I want to say like yesterday even, went back to Genesis and was trying to kind of just see if I could I don't know, get some more clarity, about the whole thing. And I'll tell you, as simple as people make it sound. I got overwhelmed and just almost had to just hang it up, because it's like there's a lot more there than what people want to make it out to be. And then he created, and then he said, "Let there be light," and there was light, and it was good. Then he created, but it's like everybody makes it. I mean, it's something. These were things that we were taught in Vacation Bible School, or I was, at least when I was like 6 years old. But it is not that simple. I don't think it's that simple. I'm sorry, I keep messing with my hair. It's driving me crazy. I need to stop. But I don't think it's that simple, because for one thing, it's like it says we. Like and then we created, or I mean, I have to go back and look, but it's like basically there's times when it sounds like there's God, and then there's times when it sounds like it's either gods or more than one person involved in this entire process. So there's like, obviously, if you were to look at it with, an open mind, there's more than what meets the eye, I guess. You and I will never get the answers we seek. I think that we will. But I think with knowledge and understanding and wisdom comes, almost like a certain burden, if you will. And going back to the whole, like, God, being lonely thing, I think that's one of the biggest, I think that's one of the ways that I have, one of the things that has deepened my relationship with God more than anything else is knowing, just having this deep, deep inner knowing that not only can he relate to that, but to such a much huger, like such a bigger, like, I don't know why I can't find words right now, way, way more than I could. But, even that, even the understanding, or like that connection, that understanding came from me asking him, what do you want me to know about you? What are the things that I'm not going to find in a text, in the Bible, in what are the things that make you, that you entrust me in knowing? I want to know you I want to know the you that you really are, not the you that everybody makes you out to be, or, the parts that are widely known and celebrated, or, whatever. Like, as someone who is very, very familiar with what it's like to be misunderstood, I just thought that was important for me to say, hey, I get it. I mean, I'm not saying that you're not who they say you are, but me personally, I welcome anytime someone gives me the opportunity to actually, anytime someone is like, well, let me just hear straight from the horse's mouth, but people don't normally do that. They usually go to any and everybody but the actual source. And I just felt like, hey, if everything that's written about you, if that's what it really is and that's the truth, then so be it. But if there's anything you would like for me to know that, maybe is not completely accurate, or maybe just, I'm always here to listen, I guess, I know it's well, I don't think eating is any more of a healthy distraction than messing with my hair, but I'll say this though, I go through these phases. I mean, yes, it is my hair, but it's my anxiety, and I'll tell you, it's very, what's the word, like, quite predictable. And I look around me and I see the way everybody else is behaving. And I just have to remind myself that fidgeting with things, no matter how bad, no matter how destructive it could possibly be, is 1,000 times better than the things I see other people doing. And it's everywhere I look. And it is really, seriously, it's like as you know, as dependable on the calendar as the full moon. You know, it's just like clockwork. People go through these cycles over and over and over and over, and whatever is done to them, they just turn right around and do it to somebody else over and over and over again. And if you know what to look for, you can see it, you can spot it from a mile away. And I call it like it's like a hot potato thing, you know, where, you know, energy cannot be created or destroyed, it can only be transferred. So, you know, if somebody throws you a hot potato, you know, how easy is it to just whoop, you know, toss it to somebody else? I mean, that's just the, you know, the natural response, you know. So in order to not do that, I mean, it takes a certain person to be able to catch a hot potato, burn their hands, like try to figure out, like, well, hold on a second, like, who threw this hot potato at me? And what, you know, well, hold on, well, what can I do with this? Well, I mean, I guess I could, are you hungry, person that threw the hot potato at me? Would you like for me to cut this up and put some butter on it and maybe we can share it and eat it as, you know, like, it's a lot of effort, and that's a very conscious, you know, like, that's a process. Whereas chunking that bitch at somebody else is easy. I'm not saying you should do that. Thank you. Thank you. I'm literally right back at you. I'm going to end it on that note too. And I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you guys, really. Okay. Good night, everyone. Good night to all, and to all a good night.